In this video, I want to share with you an experience that I had hiring freelancers and the outcomes. And the reason I want to make this video is because many of my clients try to hire freelancers for link building and SEO. And I just want to show you how difficult this process is. Now, I don't need to hire because I need help in terms of I need an expert. I am the expert. I needed to hire because I needed to save time. So I knew exactly what I needed the people to do. They just had to follow instructions. And you'll see my experience. So here is the job description that I posted. It's very simple. Okay. I was looking to hire 5 different freelancers. Of course, my goal was to get rid of most of them. I only keep 1 or 2 that were really good. And all I wanted was, websites where they can link to mine if they already have them, or somebody could do link building for me on a long-term basis and some outreach. And of course, I posted all these common things. I don't want any links from directory, links from comments, citations, forums, on social media. So very clear, right? Now, I got a lot of proposals. I still keep getting messages about this for some reason. I just don't check them anymore. But I got 17 proposals, and I hired 3 people from Upwork, and I hired 2 additional people from other sources. So I ended up hiring 5 people, and I want to show you a little bit of the kinds of proposals that I was getting. So here's an example. I hired this person long-term, and then I hired a few people short-term, and I'm just going to show you what the conversation was like. And this is the sales conversation with this person, and of course it's very long, and we can kind of go through it a little bit. But the main thing that I want you to take away is that most of the conversation was this person not following directions, and most of this conversation was this person did not tell me what link building methods they were going to use. Now, they were really cheap. So you can see it's $6.50 an hour. So I ended up hiring them for a couple of 10 hours, and they immediately marked all their hours as complete, even though it wasn't even humanly possible. It was over 24 hours. I'm sure they didn't do the work, and I fired them immediately. But what ended up happening was, in the interview process, you see, I had a long interview process, and I was like, look, I don't want this. I don't want these links and blah, blah. He was just answering whatever I wanted to hear. He was basically replying whatever I wanted to hear. But what I needed to know, and when you hire, what you need to know is, how are they going to get the links? Because what it ended up being is this person was going to do exactly what I told him not to do. And I spent a long time trying to explain to him the links that I needed, where to get them. And guess what he did? He reverted to his basic methods that cut corners and don't get you quality links. A lot of these guys, they use methods that were effective 15 years ago, and they're easy for them to do. They're brain dead methods, but they do not work. So I ended up firing this person really quickly, even though I gave them a chance, which I really thought I shouldn't have. And I also got rid of the people that I hired in other ways. And I kept this guy because he was intelligent. And the strategy that he and I decided on was that he was going to, and you can see that I ended up working with him for quite a bit of hours, 87 hours. And what he and I decided on was the following strategy, that he was going to look for websites and that were relevant, and these websites, we're going to either provide a link to provide an article for them, or these websites, we're going to write the article, and the article is going to have a link to one of my web pages that I'm trying to rank. And this strategy is a strategy that often works, doesn't always work. Here's the biggest differentiator, is that Google does not love this strategy. Okay, if they knew what we were doing, they would say this is not a good method, because obviously we're trying to manipulate search results, and the only thing we're trying to do is get under the Google radar so that they don't catch us. But obviously they are smarter than us, and they can tell that most likely what happened with this guy, even though the strategy we had was relatively solid, most likely what the problem ended up being was that the websites he was finding were websites which already were linking out to questionable websites many times for payment. And so for that reason, Google probably already flagged them. And for that reason, the links we got through this strategy didn't quite work. You see, that's the main problem. So in this video, what I really went over is all the ways that currently, if you hire people, are not going to work. They're not going to work if you use these, hire super cheap and low quality freelancers. That's not going to work. They're just going to cut corners. Or if you get links from websites and you pay for links from websites that already have a lot of, that are already accept a lot of articles and links from questionable places, and Google probably already flagged them. And for that reason, in our case, this did not actually end up getting my web pages to rank higher. So the reason I really wanted to make this video because it explains exactly what not to do. And in the next video, I'll show you what actually really worked relatively fast. Not promising that you're going to have fast results, but it worked relatively fast for me. And I'll show you exactly what I did to get that working.